Hello for us now. Good evening again. The program you watch now, UDUOTA. UDUOTA for this side of the country means the heart of the matter. And we reach now from Independent Television, Edo State, Nigeria. Today is a very special day, and of course, we'll discuss issues the way we did one before. And this evening, many issues come to the ground. But before then, my name is Mark Pololo. For inside studio here, my brother Ifo Safan, they will do for us.
They here to discuss about Nigeria.
Frank and make on one person when we say they always come all the time because in head is sabi book. Now so book pull out. If you open the head, you can see. But apart from that, one person when we say anything when they do, they always won't do it well. In fact, now one of the people when we say he get policy of dedication and at the same time commitment. And once he's committed to any cause, he always make sure say that cause he finish up. Frank and make a good evening.
Hi, for us. Now, good evening. Bololo, thank you for inviting me.
Okay, today is a very special day. I tell now via Zoom this evening, we'll get somebody all the way from United States of America, a country rep of Policy House International and coordinator Border Rights Africa Program, New York, and also he was once a former chief of staff to the state government, Taiwo Akerele. My brother Taiwo, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you today?
We are fine. Is having speak pidgin too?
Oh, is it pidgin? Okay, that's fine.
Okay, yes. All right. Another person day for Lagos. So this time around, I don't see face of this program before. OSA director. He's a human rights activist. He's a barrister, and at the same time, he's a publisher. And many things I do together. He also join us from. My brother, OSA director. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, my brother.
How you doing now?
Fine, thank you.
Your brother Taiwo Akerele is there for the other side, and of course, two of them don't disagree for one issue before. So before we just open the line, maybe we just open the floor. What to make you disagree with Taiwo Akerele over the way federal government take the borrow money?
Yeah, like I talk, my brother Taiwo Akerele, say in a development economy, so at least he involved in those kind of matter, and that's why I will say what you call fundamentally say not today wrong for person to borrow either as an individual or as a country, but the tip is same. You must their rules or their certain things supposed to dey for ground when you make you take borrow. That is, you go use that money when you want borrow, take do what they call production or productive process or what they call infrastructure. When you go generate revenue, when you go pay back the loan when you take. So you need to get the capacity to pay back the loan. And you don't go to use the loan, they do things, be like when man will collect money, they go feed himself or collect money, they buy shirt and trouser. And you not get work. How you want to pay them back? Don't be say if you borrow money, you will go start work, maybe sell recharge card or sell something. Then you go bring money, but you go to pay back the loan small. So like we said, the way Nigeria they go, we not get the capacity to pay this loan. And even the investment what we say we dey do, apart from probably the railway line, which is even 19th century railway, not locomotive, nothing when it dey there when you go fit generate that money back. And it also become very shameful for a government when it don't claim say the fight corruption, don't collect plenty money from people from everywhere. Why you still dey, but where do you use that money to? So I feel say the amount of money when we don't collect, especially as our naira don't dey so low now, about at least 500 naira to $1, they will not go fit pay back all this because we not dey use that for project when it go generate income for enough income for us to do what we call to service the loan. And if you dey for country where we say we dey use up to 70% of your revenue when you generate, take the service to the pay for loan. And that one don't make sense. So now if you say they want to leave it basically for generation when they lie born, they want to leave it for their head when they go to pay. So now if people disagree with my brother Akirele say, yes, we fit borrow money, but in terms of Nigeria as we did soon, the way we dey borrow, we don't over borrow, and we don't get capacity to pay, and we don't get enough revenue. Now the kind of economy we get when we call rentier economy, when we dey depend on rest from oil, then we want the service, and when oil not be only we not get capacity to determine the price of oil. Now OPEC and other oil producing nations, then they decide how they want to do, and then even the global economy. Okay, nobody expects COVID will come now. You can't tell people we borrow money from say, oh, because of COVID, you don't go service your loan. Even if you not go service them, they even beat you. They only reduce small the interest. They're not going to just say make you forfeit them. So now this one, I did talk say, now rentier economy we get a monoproduct economy. Our revenue streams is more or less very linear. One way, oil. And we know say as the world goes so they go soon ask us look to drink our oil when they want to start the electric cars now. Everybody they think of even the carbon emission, reduction of carbon emission. Everybody say maybe reduce hydrocarbon when they pump into atmosphere. Everybody they run away from oil. In the next 10, 20 years, and now they go tell us people drink our oil. So we even generate even a revenue we even get now. So now all those are make me talk say be like say now there's a one proof for generations of born ahead with all this kind of loan we're not getting capacity and we know they apply the loan well for production processes when they could generate revenue for us to pay.
Okay, Taiwo Akorele the other side and they listen to you. Again, Taiwo Akorele now be country rep, policy house, international coordinator, borrow rights, Africa too for New York. In our financial expert for most of these things, and once more, he served as chief of staff to the state government. So, Taiwo, you hear your brother, Osa Director?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this program. I really appreciate. I thank all of you for ITV and Oga Osa Director. Good evening, sir. Well, the issues are very clear. Una they hear me?
Will they hear you well? Go ahead.
Okay. The issues they very clear. We are not here to argue why Nigeria is borrowing or that it is good or bad to borrow. And of course, I'm not the spokesman of government. I work based on statistics and data that is made available by the people who have been authorized to release such data. And that is the people who have also been allowed and authorized to set up framework on who is qualified and who is not qualified to collect loan, and who is qualified to also give out loans nationally. Based on the figures that is available to me, released quarterly by the World Bank, the IMF, and of course the Debt Management Office of Nigeria, I stand my ground that Nigeria has not borrowed more than what it ought to borrow as a country. In general, Nigeria is one of the medium low income countries of the world. Apart from the fact that we are an oil producing country, we are also the biggest economy in Africa in terms of GDP.
Taiwo abeg, you know say if I say that coal wey dey US, they make you dey knack oyibo. Abeg still pidgin for us.
I want to break am down to
not let that coal for that side. Don't make you dey
is the biggest country is the biggest economy for Africa.
Yeah.
Our GDP, which is gross domestic product, gross domestic product means the total amount of activities being done, commerce, trade, maritime, even when they do ITV, so everybody, the total money when they circulate for the country, and Nigeria be the biggest for Africa. And everything came to about $480 billion US as at 2020. So what the IMF and World Bank say you no go fit borrow more than specific amount, which is what we call debt sustainability framework. If you pass the debt sustainability framework threshold, then they will start to read red alert on your matter. But for now, from waiting we get, waiting there for Nigeria matter now, Nigeria is less than 25%. And the only time when they will start to raise alarm now when it be 45-50%. People with the approval when National Assembly do give yesterday from 2 days ago for another loan, Nigeria never reach 25%. They will just inch close to 25%. So now it make me the talk, say make everybody cool down. We never to borrow money where people they complain say Nigeria borrow money. Based on people when they set the framework where they accepted, Nigeria never to borrow money. But we are missing the point. And that is where I hold Nigerian citizens accountable. Not they look the money when your government they borrow, but they look at what they want to apply it for. Because there's no country in the world that is 0% borrow ratio. America is a $22 trillion economy. They're borrowing more than 129% of their GDP. That is, assuming their GDP now 5 naira, they don't borrow 7 naira. In other words, they don't borrow more than waiting they get. Why? Because it is being applied for specific issues. Specific sectors are benefiting from the investment being made by the American government. Look at China, 66.83%. South Africa, 78.2%. So we are not even the highest borrowing country in terms of GDP in Africa. Meanwhile, we are the biggest economy. So we should tie it to accountability. I don't want Nigerians to be looking at the amount with the money we they borrow. Because if we look the money we they borrow, we will lose direction, we will lose focus of what we're supposed to the whole government for. Nigerian citizens are supposed to be holding the government to account for what the money has been applied to, and that is why I agree with OSA director. We should be looking at audit performance. We should be looking at performance audit. We should be looking at fund application. We should be looking at output of what the monies that have been borrowed from World Bank and IMF has been applied for. Then he talked about debt servicing. I agree that our debt servicing, in fact, we are suffering. There's a strain on our debt servicing because for every 10 naira when we earn, we use 7 naira till they pay the service, the debt, the money will go borrow. And that is where the issue of our tax revenue comes in. What has happened to our ability to collect taxes? What has happened to our private sector? How many people when they do business for Nigeria, government, they under government radar? Many people when they do business for Nigeria, they are not paying taxes to government. So government needs to increase its capacity to invest in the tax net infrastructure, the tax net infrastructure and the ecosystem of tax administration. So if they look the moment Nigeria borrow, we never go far because we are still less than 25%. But there are issues around taxation, revenue mobilization. Then of course, we're also looking at capability to pay. Do we have the capability to pay?
Now that will be the thing.
We're applying it on things that cannot repay themselves, and that is why I'm very happy with this government. And also, the director also talked about railway. This present government, they invest for railway, and it's not just in one region. They are investing in railways infrastructure across Nigeria. And that is kudos to them, because these are evidence-based investment architecture. Not be the one when they borrow before we say we don't know where they pay out. And let me remind you, Apollo, Nigeria first pay all this debt to like 2006 under Obasanjo. You remember say they can't go do debt rescheduling, we can't pay 18 billion, World Bank and the Paris Club, they can't forgive us the remaining 18 billion.
Yes.
If to say now so like this, why we still come go back to the borrow again? A country must always borrow, but the citizens must not lose sight of the application of this one, because this present government is not the one that is going to pay for the money that they are borrowing now. It's another government and generation yet to come that will pay. So we must invest in citizens' engagement. We must invest in citizens calling government to account for what they have borrowed. And we must be interested in what the National Assembly is appropriating. Then another thing where we notice for Borrow Right Africa, we say there is too much money being spent on running government. Nigeria should put pressure on government to reduce the cost of governance. If you look at the Nigerian National Budget 2021, for instance, there are some things where we say the federal government not supposed to get hand put.
Like which thing?
Yes, hello.
But here you go ahead.
Federal government not supposed to get hand for some things.
Like waiting.
Like you go see for budget now, you go see say they won't build federal government won't build town hall for one village. How federal government go they build town hall for village? That is supposed to be under the purview of local government. You understand? Meanwhile, you are releasing allocation to local government, and you are performing their duties. I saw the Nigerian budget that somebody want to train traditional rulers in a state in this country. When they concern National Assembly or federal government with the training and capacity building of traditional rulers, this is what is blowing up our budget. And that is what is causing budget deficit largely. So by the time you look at all these key issues, you will discover, say, we can actually apply our resources effectively, impactfully, and at the end of the day, you discover, say, we may not even need to borrow. So rather than us dissipating so much energy and intellectual resources in debating whether Nigeria should borrow or not, we should look at our financial architecture, the economic architecture. How is the Nigerian CBN applying fiscal policies? How is the Federal Ministry of Finance applying monetary policies? Who is in charge of investment? Who is in charge of controlling inflation? Who is in charge of strengthening our ability to control money in circulation, what we call quantitative easing in economics? Who is controlling money in circulation? These are the issues we should be focusing on. But if to say we go to spend time, they debate whether Nigeria don't borrow, Nigeria never borrow. Nigeria never borrow reach where we're supposed to borrow reach as a percentage of the size of the economy. Our economy has the capacity to borrow more even times 2 of this, and yet we know we'll still shake. But our ability to pay back now depends on how we structure our budgeting system, how we structure the cost of governance, how we structure, the taxation administration system. This is all we have to say at this time from here.
Okay. Osa Director, you hear him?
I hear.
Okay.
Say, I listen to I first tell you, I just now say, for instance, saying that development economists and all these financial experts, be. And say, for this country, every professional get you go into the confused, the other person will not you meet mechanic now, you carry more go meet down. What the way you try when you go tell you what you go do, you go say, you're not going to carry this motor come out here. You cannot go carry you reach house. And you go do the analysis, you go begin fear. So all this I thank God that Kolola tell our brother clearly say, make it break down all the grammar, make it come over here. You see, all this the way they talk, for me me understand. I ain't not say I understand. But we want to make our people make them really get this. Because if you they talk of economy, we say if you borrow. We never borrow rich, we still get capacity to borrow and all that. The first thing when you go ask yourself, borrow or no borrow, what is the living standard of the average Nigerian? What you are borrowing, it they impact on the life of Nigerian. And I thank God saying also talk and say yes, that what we need to ask ourselves or what the people need to do. Now to the whole government accountable say this money one and they borrow so what do you now want use them for? Why people they fear say we do borrow or make we not borrow again? Say history don't show us for this country say if we they borrow, most times leakage is too plenty for the system. I even read that article when I clearly write. They talk about that now with institutional weaknesses and leakages. So you go borrow money, 50 or 60 or 70% of it go end up for private pocket. I don't want that, but look, I just make this instance. Not be this country we hear say government use billions of dollars for defense. They buy jet and the rest of no city. At least that the national security advisor and I talk come. Later they do their own mango, they put pressure on the man, make it come they talk another story that not be so really talk him, So this is not the thing. Even if we get capacity to borrow more, like he also told, like my brother clearly noted, do we have the capacity to repay? Or are we in a position moving our economy in such a direction that we can pay adequately? Nigerians they fear because of past experience. Thank God the race issue and say, passenger time, Kojo well, I went to Mr. Finance. We get debt forgiveness. For IMF, Paris Club and the multilateral financial institutions, we get them relief. We pay them small, they say we pay certain amount, then they go write the others off, which is debt forgiveness. Now, if it is good to the borrow, why Nigeria? Why experts like Okonjo
Okay, before Osadaito, before we go to Apple for studio here, Tawa Krede, that thing will happen for Zambia. You hear him?
Yes.
Say Zambia take over some of their companies.
China.
Yes.
China take over some of their companies for Zambia.
China, yes.
As a financial expert, that kind of thing, how you look at you the way we dey go for this country when we say everything China. You know, just we enter Zambia should one day.
Well, I doubt because there's what we call there's what we call project appraiser document in engaging your lender, in negotiating the loan that will be advanced to your country. There's what we call project appraiser document. There's what we call project implementation manual, and there are a series of legal agreements that will be signed between the Federal Ministry of Finance, the National Assembly, the Debt Management Office, the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, and the Office of the Minister for Justice and Accountant General. All these people, and then they look the paper when they sign before the loan is executed.
Okay, I go come back to you.
What happened to Zambia? It's an agreement because these people the Chinese people, they won't give you money. Say make you take and do some certain things. They give you the money finish. You are not now complying with the rules of engagement. There is penalty to it. For example, if Nigeria no service the debt, there is penalty.
What? Okay,
if you're not ready as a country to
Tao.
You should not go into that. You should not go into those agreements.
No, Tao, but
now Nigeria is not along. Is not within that vicinity.
Yes, but you did private to
from the evidence before me.
you did private to the penalty just in case Nigeria, because you know say wetin make most Nigerians dey fear be say most of the time we know in terms of the way they dey spend government money we no sabi am. Leakage is too plenty, so which means that we no sure say number one you dey private to our penalty, and wetin make you feel say Nigeria no go fall for wetin Zambia fall put.
No, from what I know, it is not possible for Nigeria to fall into that category of Chinese coming to take over the assets that has been built as a result of the credit advanced to us because of the institutional mechanism we have put in place. For example, before there's what we call debt default, there's what we call maturing obligation. Before the debt even mature, Nigeria don't already make provision for them. That is why the National Assembly, they always come up with appropriation, and there's also what we call supplementary budget to cater for unforeseen circumstances or unforeseen issues during the implementation of the appropriation in the year under review. So Nigeria, from what I know from Federal Ministry of Finance and the Debt Management Office and the Office of the Budget of the Federation, the institutional mechanism has been put in place for the next 5 to 10 years.
You just said this your English.
Nigeria no go ever reach that Zambia level where we say China will not take over. Already Chinese people are part of the management of even the railway. There's a percentage, there's an equity for management, so that even before the problem occur, management will say, well, don't they come, what do we do to avert that kind of situation whereby they will come take over the investment and the asset. It's not possible for Nigeria because of what I have seen put in place at Nigerian government.
Frank Abega.
And this analysis we are making is not just for Nigeria, it's for the entire African country. We have the data, we have the statistics, we have all the evidence-based scenario for all the borrowing countries in Africa. So Nigeria is not along that category at all.
Frank Abega, you listen to the Sims?
I listen well, I be where I'm sleep safe.
Okay.
To wear jeans, you know they had to. Not to wash them. To come wash them. If you go buy jeans for boutique now, say if na your size, you put leg enter. When it reach time to take wash them, it go come dey pain you. And everything go pain you to wash them. If they put for signboard, food is ready. Not before all the hungry, now who get money? Now who get money, now that food is ready. Now they make come for. Not be as you say they hungry, you say demand for food. Now still get money for pocket. As I make chop well, but you don't get money. So if a poor man tell you, you go greet him for house, you can't tell you one to say, you can come again. You know, say you truly come again. He just say he appreciates you come. So if you don't understand the English, you can come again. Tomorrow, come. You don't go knock for your door. The one I don't start to. If we never reach 25% as Ogata will talk for America, and Nigeria be like this. They can't tell us, say, we get to reach 45 before we can't say, we don't reach the end. Though. You never reach 25, see the wild about the ground. I don't agree for borrowing. Because when we don't borrow, don't too much. When you know, say, the time you get for Nigeria as president, for instance, you never reach how many months or years. So when you go to borrow, make the next administration come enter, those ones go enter, borrow ahead. So someone to take careful for Nigeria. All this English, and they read books small. If they read medical textbook now, they tell you so many things. We know they use it like that. We'll come, as we talk, we'll come domesticate them. Say, this thing affect us. The people tell you, say, the range to say person one sick, heart warrior where. Now between 1 and 10, we don't use it like that. We'll come to determine our own range. That are Caucasian value. We get African value. If for America or Canada, they tell you, say, you got to reach 45 before you reach alarm. We know as will be for here. When they'll tell you for Ebola and say, if you eat, not drink water, after about 1 hour before you drink water, if you try that thing here, abroad they walk. But people they eat, they don't drink water, now juice, wine, they eat food. You can't try that, bring your bomb and come Nigeria. Give them yam and plantain, beans and plantain. May not drink water. In less than 1 minute, they rush to Bogo hospital. So about they're careful, don't they import things come Nigeria in terms of ideas or ideologies. I did Nigeria here. I don't spend 50 years for Nigeria here. I don't think I talk about. Just hold on a bit. I didn't interrupt. Then.
If Nigeria is debt free today, Namiko happy pass. So nobody is agitating saying make Nigeria.
Let me quickly land.
He say one land first. Let her laugh.
My flag not a wave now. I beg, be stable. So the point is, if we're born, they write all the rules. Can't give us. They our born Ezo.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Be say they say no. Abololo, you fit beat FA. So no, if you beat FA now, you wake up. If you beat up, when the matter will come set, you don't see me again. I don't miss.
Because now that they go king or the traditional ruler where they want to go settle,
he
not
follow you go. Not to say we qualify. If we qualify, not be safe to take one. Waiting will pay back the loan. Even other banks for Nigeria, they say want to go borrow money. They'll ask you where they work. They ask you what you want to can do. You they sell crayfish. You they say I don't do anything. I just stay for house. They don't give you $1. Abroad, if you dash you for money, I know people over there abroad. You also your account, if you all dash you money during COVID. Some of our friends in Nigeria, they come from America. They just check in phone. Say American government just give her $1,000. That's thing they happen for Nigeria. That's what happen. So more they careful. Don't go borrow money. Go don't write their paper. We not follow the right time. Who write paper? No, the iwi the things were there inside. So if you don't go rush, go sign up. It will say I know as they talk. You know they not the problem for Nigeria.
Okay, tell me, you want to react to that thing.
No, I be once tell and say, if as a Nigerian citizen, I'm not happy that Nigeria is borrowing money to finance is part of his budget. That's what we call budget deficit. I want to know what it be budget deficit. That is the difference between what you want to do and waiting your money fee do. So now waiting your money fee do, you go borrow money to bridge the financing gap, and they call deficit financing. Nobody, every country in the world looks forward to having a balanced budget. Nobody go happy to go they borrow money. Especially when you don't go pay immediately, because after you don't come out for government, another government and you go suffer. However, there's no way you can run away from borrowing. What we are advocating is responsible borrowing, and that's where I agree with my brother, director. There's what we call responsible borrowing. You must borrow responsibly and apply it in a manner that it will be efficient, impactful, and the outcome will be seen by all. Everybody go there and say, this our ancestors, the money when they borrow those days, and you will see they enjoy. So we don't even pay back.
Okay.
Enjoy the asset.
Okay, if you want to ask you a question.
No, I think may I just come here. You see, Taiwo they talk. No, say na book na Taiwo they read for us since the way things supposed to go. Now our brother Taiwo they read. In a professional for that area, so in the atomizer is supposed to be when you don't read for book. Why the one we they discuss here now? We they discuss as a Nigeria. We when it be say wear shoe. Now you know where they pay us. Every day with the year say that they borrow, then they borrow, then they borrow. We will be say that they because of and they borrow. Where the thing now they feel, where will they feel? That be the issue when it day here. I thank God say when they talk to us, he tell us say yes, so not say bad to borrow. But when you don't borrow, what you use and do, now it matter. Nigerians they condemn to borrow because they not see where they spend down. If you go borrow, everybody that money where they borrow come, everybody feel the impact. When we want go borrow again, you say anybody will go complain. Nigeria they borrow is just be like father when he be say their house. Every time you go borrow money come, the wife not go know whether the man borrow money, the children not go know whether he borrow money. NEPA they come they cut lights, water. The time go come reach the father and the children for us go ask the father say daddy. All those money where you they borrow every time, where people they come they draw you, where and what you use and do. But if the man they borrow money they come, you see I say the children they chop, they not drive them from school, expenses where they use and when they go ask the man say, they say this my wife not my fault oh. These children see money when I borrow so they are using and take pay these children school fees. See so project we will get that day. For this our land project, see where I use and build rich for the house, more for common for tenants. You think say this the children or the wife will say they quarrel with the man? They go they quarrel with the man. Be say when the money they come, they not see where they spend am. Nigeria they cry today say the borrow don't too much because we not see where they spend am. The only thing we dey see say their own lifestyle they increase, individual lifestyle. Their wardrobe wey they need to change when any other person they come aboard like them wey be say they for house of rep house of senate wey they want take over they'll change wardrobe the kind jeep wey they go use but ordinary Nigeria as a citizen where we dey feel the impact of the money wey dem dey borrow. If we no dey feel the impact of the money wey dem dey borrow wetin you expect me to talk be say to borrow no good make Nigeria no involve theirself. If America dey thank God Taiwo wey dey talk to us so he dey that side. You not see the way government they take care of their citizens. Go to other countries when they talk about where they borrow. When they borrow this money, the citizens they feel it. They take care of citizens. The citizens they see those who don't retire, pensioner, then they feel all the impact. So when you they borrow and everybody they feel the impact, nobody go complain. But when you they borrow, everybody they complain. Only the politicians they enjoy it. What do you expect me the citizens talk? Now to say to borrow no good. And I make we as citizens go say e don reach to borrow because the one wey dey borrow we no see where they spend am na only their pocket na the thing dey show and e dey swear. Ordinary politician wey go come on board today before he comot for 4 years him life go change. Citizen when e be say e go work for 30-35 years you no go see where the thing feel the impact. So wetin you go expect me tell you you go say to borrow no good.
Taiwo.
Yes, sir.
Before yes Osadam you get what you wan talk.
Yes, because the way my brother the last week I just talked,
Yeah.
He impressed me well. That's why I want to give example when I will go appreciate. You see, like for Lagos here, Lagos is one of with the statistics when they with Taiwo. Now one of the state that has borrowed most. It's among the highest, the top 3. If not the number 1 in Nigeria. But we not the complaint for Lagos. Because we see what the government they use on the tool. Even me, when I start to the work for my organization for this thing, I come to practice my chamber. Now me go call LRS, Lagos Internal Revenue. May they come tax me. Because I dey impressed with waiting the governor that time they do Fashola and then this guy comes to take over Ambode. So as we they see what they take and they do like my brother talk just now, we not they complain. Even when they ask for tax, you go one willingly pay. Because Benin Bass they talk for parable say, when you are pounding yam in a mortar and you are seeing it, not that it's falling off, you'll be joyful, you know. So borrow, they do. I beg, I want to remind because me, I don't forget. You get one time we want controversy today. I don't even know what it is. One contract we signed with China. There was one clause like that, will be like Zambia own. When the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, say no be inside now, say no see him. I don't know where Kololo, if you remember, or if my brother Tawa really remember. So why I quickly raise this thing, say, make we not just the imagine, say, we not going to read the stage of Zambia, because our people, they send document when they know they read. It be like when you buy ticket, air ticket, or any some other things, you see the terms and conditions apply. They did tiny figure. It could be like 2-3 pages. You don't get them to take it down now. You know, you go just sign. Now when you can't get problem, you won't go court. Now they're going to bring out these are the terms and conditions that you sign. For me, it be like saying so some of our officials they take this loan, because that thing they media that time when the Minister of Transport can say no be inside and you don't read that one. So how you go send document when you don't read? So if it be say we visit Bob with you like Zambia, because the document when they sign, they know they read that well.
Osadato, you know, say for this country, we know that what you talk, you know, they far from the truth because we they give appointment to dead people, we know they know. No, sir, you know, then if you remember this all this power, all this electricity, when we say they privatize. You know, there was one clause in one place say if they want revoke am, it get some trillions of naira where government go pay. Of which, when government come look how much they want pay to the people, they kukuma live am with them. Have you not forget? None of what to happen for this country now. Yes, now.
See PDC, what did they do for Benin? See Kaja electricity, what did they do for Lagos? See Go electricity. Let's talk about Kaja because that one they lose. They are criminals. I will say that without apology.
Why?
Apart from some uniform when they collect money.
No, but some good people they say you know if you call. No, Taiwo, sorry, director, you know if you call a whole organization there. But Taiwo, okay, let me come to you. Yes.
When you cannot label a group, you can label an individual. So I know what you are the talk.
Okay, now true.
If I say Senate corrupt now, they don't take me to court.
Yes.
If I mention the name of a senator, say this senator is corrupt, he can sue me. So I know what I'm talking about, my brother.
Okay, Taiwo. We'll continue on this discussion. A few days ago, the Global Hunger Index ranked Nigeria as number 107 in terms of in the 2020 Global Hunger Index. Now, we don't want to relate them because they talk about Boko Haram, this one and that one. But the area when I want me to look is say, still on this issue, when will they grow? Will they talk about subsidy? The subsidy wey they remove for inside this country, we no dey see where they go. You no feel say no be the same thing that happen for the loan because apart from the railway, which other area do you feel say we dey feel the impact of this loan?
Okay, Akololo.
Yes.
Those are details that are contained in debt management office website. I am aware that it is not just in railway sector that the Nigerian government is investing this credit. They still invest for schools. There's what we call African Centers of Excellence. It's a project across Nigerian universities. It is being funded from a credit from the International Development Association. That is an area that I am interested in. They are investing in capacity building. They are investing in artificial intelligence and encouraging our lecturers to become world-class standard.
Lecturer, they
There's also you say what?
I say lecturer there. This man wey dey talk to you na lecturer.
If he's aware of African Centers of Excellence, it's being funded by the World Bank.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, most of the money will still borrow. So some of them are for health sector, some of them are for basic primary education, primary health care in Nigeria. Even this COVID vaccine, so we get assistance from World Bank and other development association. We go pay back. So anybody will go collect vaccine, no, say not be free, now part of the loan. That's number two. Number three, There's also investment even in the primary education sector. There's investment in the northeast of Nigeria. There's investment in maritime sector, because our maritime sector is not performing. So we need to unbundle that. There's also investment in a power sector. For the past 5 years, there has been a lot of investment in the power sector, unbundling the Nigerian power sector. So most of this investment are loan.
But we know they see him now. That's the thing. We know they see him. All this one we they talk to.
The money they don't spend on those items.
Osada, ask what you see him. You dey see him?
That's what we call. If you go to debt management office website, these things are contained therein. Then apart from this one, when I don't mention, so there's investment in infrastructure. You know, there's investment in infrastructure.
Like what?
Teaching hospitals.
Huh?
Teaching hospitals. Then there's also National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. There's what we call Galaxy Backbone. These are all projects being funded from credit facilities.
No, Taiwo. No, Taiwo. No, slow down. Taiwo say before you come up from here, at least you dare do small. You grow for a do, go back, come back, come go again now. All this is what they talk, because very soon we open our line. Where they on ground, because they waka for Oromi. No, see, man tell you straight how I go. Before now, if not for insecurity, I dey go Taraba, I dey go Zamfara, I dey go Kaduna, they go to do this kind of program. So all these things, so if they dey ground, people don't go see am, because on ground, on paper, that's the way they talk, they dey paper for ground. Where they dey? Okay, lecturer dey here now. You go talk about that one, they talk about Center of Excellence. Then this primary health like UDUOTA now, for example, wey dey Benin, those things wey I dey, even Federal Medical Center for Asaba. Wait, in the last 5 years now, which new thing dey that UDUOTA wey no dey before, apart from say some kind keke boutique wey say they just do. When you say, because the way they talk this one now, wetin dey borrow money take do? I go see am now.
You don't ever hear us say no to farming in Nigeria.
Yes.
Project that is being funded by African Development Bank.
Yes, but on ground, okay, now I dey for Edo, for instance. Where you dey for Edo?
You know the year of food security program.
No, we're not supposed to hear of one. Not to see
am.
Not to farming. Immunization project. And that's the vocational training for power sector.
Okay, Taiwo will ask you.
No, sir, director, no, I disagree with you. No be paper, it's there on ground. For example, you never know of a nursing vocational training for power sector in Nigeria. You never hear of Nigeria Digital Identification Project.
No, we not say we never hear. He's supposed to say go to so place, go to so place.
Because you go see a World Bank assisted, you go see some IMF assisted, you go see some African Development Bank assisted. Then they be just sign board.
Okay, Taiwo. Yes.
This loan when they collect, so then they use
Taiwo, abeg, see, may we talk now as black men. If the America wey you dey, the way they quote this thing, so it will say na so their own loan be for them. You just say they for never close America, because na quote they quote this thing. I don't know, we don't see them for ground.
America is owing 129% of their GDP.
They see our own.
I said, okay, you wait, which one you ask for when they don't show you?
Okay, lecturer. Wait till we set up excellence.
When they try talk na paperwork. For university, you see lecturer using salary. We don't reach anything. They do research. Most of the strike what they go for, ASU versus federal government. Now these complaints, now they complain. No infrastructure, if you go lab, nothing there. If you go library, all these books. So because they wonder as they talk and say those things there. Because me even go school today, I not see them. Maybe you just show me for now you a day. You show me the area so that as I am close to it, I go drive in town, go see am. Maybe now this night they want consultant. This night it was better. I cannot take it because I don't finish school since 93. That's 28 years ago. You dey tell me things where the school where I go then day. Just tell me now, maybe I don't forget, all the old. So I just drive, go there now. From here to Unimen, reach 5 minutes. Reach there, I will snap her, I will post her to you.
Okay, gentlemen, no. Tabo, before you answer, make I ask one thing. During the COVID, so many universities all over Canada, US, UK, as COVID come, all of them were doing virtual classes. And even still now, some of them still they do. In your country, Nigeria, how many federal universities, apart from the private one, do virtual class where you know? Tell what they ask you.
For me, it's a matter of priority. If the President Buhari cannot come and tell the Vice Chancellor of the University of what to do with investment in technology, you have to prioritize. So that is a local issue as far as I'm concerned. If the university has a Vice Chancellor with heads of department and deans, and they don't think that it is important for them to invest in infrastructure that will support teaching and learning environment that is digital in the last 10 years, then you cannot be waiting for COVID to happen, then you are suddenly gapping. No.
Is there light?
It's an investment decision.
Is there light? Is there water?
They collect subvention from federal government. Then they collect school fees from students. What have they done with it? We should be asking them, not the president, not the federal government. So that one is an internal prioritization issue for the universities to decide. For example, there's the governing council for the university to set policies and guidelines on how they should operate, how they should generate money, and how to spend. They approve the annual budget for them. So the universities should be held responsible for not investing in adequate technology. But the Abdul University has invested in technology. In fact, they even came up with an invention for COVID testing and all of that. This is Abdul University that is a NECOMA. I saw it on a video. So if Abdul University can invest in such, and what is happening to other federal universities? They have the governing council, they have a pro-chancellor, they have a chairman of council, they have a vice chancellor, they have a management, they have a senate. So it's a local issue that should be localized to universities. Other universities that are making progress, there are universities in Nigeria that are making progress. They are making progress. So it's about management and leadership. That will not be government at all. I don't go even support you for that one.
That will government get out for that. Who is the visitor to federal university? Not the president. Because when this thing happened, this COVID happened for Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, instruct LASU, say, make them they do virtual learning. And LASU was doing virtual learning. So, what if government can be taking decisions as a result of COVID, national decision? Why can't the visitor also instruct the federal universities to do virtual learning? So you cannot escapade the federal.
No, it's an interference in the autonomy. We say it's an interference on the autonomy or the university autonomy.
We don't have autonomy.
University autonomy.
Okay. Yeah. Gentlemen, before we go back to Apo for studio, make I ask this other question. Now, Gatawu Akerele, I don't know when the last time you come to Nigeria. Will they borrow money?
I don't come, sir. I don't even come.
Okay. Will they borrow money? Will they borrow money? How come that till now, power?
Yes, I'm back.
No, wait now. We don't wait. How come that till now, power is an issue?
How you do it?
How come that till now, power is an issue? Electricity.
Okay, you know the way the Nigerian power sector is structured. It is centrally controlled. There's what we call national grid. And I have been advocating Nigeria should unbundle the power sector architecture.
So wait. I said Nigeria unbundle, make we not spend the money for the thing. Now the money won't borrow.
There are issues. There are legal issues. Osa director is a lawyer. He will tell you what happened to the distribution. All those distribution companies when they do under Jonathan. We don't have the same one now. How has it worked now? How has it worked? Because there are legal issues, there are entanglement issues, there are unbundling issues, there are integration issues all over Nigeria. They will tell you, say, only so person go fit generate power.
Who go solve that?
If you generate 100 megawatt, no go fit distribute, no go fit market. That is why we are entangled. Other countries, states and regions, they generate electricity for themselves based on your capacity. And until Nigeria unbundle that power sector, no matter the amount of investment, it will take us time for us to achieve 100% 24-hour electricity for all. It go hard. There are issues that needs to be discussed. It's not something that. So what Nigerian government has invested with World Bank loan in the power sector is to build the capacity of the various thermal stations to generate electricity around their catchment area.
How long did it take to build that the way they talk so?
Not accountability. We should hold government accountable for the resources spent, not on the loan itself. But after you don't collect the loan, there should be a citizen engagement framework to say, okay, we don't go collect 100 naira now, how we want to spend, I want to know who we give, who be the contractor or who be the consultant, where the land, where the village. These are the issues that citizens should be focusing on. Because if we cannot stop government all over the world from collecting loan, even China that you talked about, their gap to GDP is about 80-something%. So you cannot be 0%. You cannot be zero free.
Those people in terms of
Okay. If we won't talk to you.
See, some of those people, if you say they talk about those countries now. They see where they spend now. Even common sense tell you, say when you see a man, when you know say that man, if you give him money, he no go know as he spend that kind of money. So that kind of man, people go say no give him money. I be not so that they talk. If you see the condition of Nigeria and the way things they go, the kind people who get for leadership now, those who you go say, more na not give them money, oh, because when you give them money, they don't know how to spend that. Even the fuel issue, make them increase fuel to 500 per liter for this set of people when it does so. 500 naira per liter. In another 1 year or 2 years, Nigeria will still go borrow money. You know go see where they spend that. So when you get those kind set of people, you go say, I beg, not let them borrow money and not give them money borrow. Now with this, so when they need in Nigeria, they talk to me, they not give them money. Me, I not blame anybody because the condition of set of people not just on their own. When you see Nigeria wet outside the country, you go weep for this country. The same country where they talk about borrow. So when you see Nigeria wet, citizen of Nigeria for outside this country, you go wet for them.
I talked about effective local mobilization of resources. There appears to be leakage. I agree with you. So we need to tighten up all those.
So when you say we, who be the we? Wait, Taiwo, wait. You say tight. Who? When we say we need to tight, who be the we wey go tighten am?
We borrow money, another side go carry and go again. We borrow, another side go carry and go again.
You are part of the government.
We go tighten the.
You are the number one component of government. That is why
Your talk is on paperwork.
There's what we call public hearing.
Yeah.
That is what the public hearing is, where the citizens are supposed to make input to the budgeting process. How many of you don't go out of assembly to make?
When you engage, and they carry go come out, they pursue everybody they enter house.
Director, they talk to us.
And they see people, they go national assembly, then they go make input. Let it be on record that they don't listen. Then people should go during the budgeting process to go and make people say, no, this is not our priority. This is our priority. Make we see whether they don't agree. So for me, there appears to be leakage and weakness on the part of the citizen of Nigeria in the budgeting process. Because budget not just be the Nigerian government don't budget 1 trillion, everybody go pull hand for head. What was your input? Because there used to be advert, there will be publicity, say so public hearing, people come back, yes, like that said, they don't do a finish, waiting concern yourself. But there is a lot of input that citizens can make. So for me, I'm not just blaming Nigerian government, I also blame us when the citizen. And that is the reason why I am so dedicated to this job I'm doing. I'm so dedicated because there's a citizen element to it, there's a government element, there's NGO element, there's civil society element, and there's a National Assembly element. Even the judiciary also has its own input to make. So it's a basket and portfolio of activity that everybody has a role to play. We're not going to just sit there. That's why I'm not going to blame Nigerian government for borrowing, because from the data and statistics available to me, they never borrow to the extent they raise a lot. But it's our responsibility to ensure that the resources that have been borrowed are applied effectively, they are impactful, and they are geared towards the priority of the citizens. But Nigerian government no go dash you priority. Now you go collect, now you go check and say this is our priority. Somebody was talking about the university system just now. What is the role of ASU? Academic staff union or university, what are their role in the budgeting process? Not to say in the middle of the year they will say they are going on strike. When you already know that by December, the National Assembly has not made adequate provision for you in the national budget.
Okay.
That point is not valid.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, from our control tower, we don't chop the time for this program. Taiwo Akerele, yes, country director for Policy House International. We salute you and take join us this evening, all the way from US. Then my brother was our director.
I'm in Abuja now. I'm back.
Okay, you are back home, eh? No problem. Okay, sorry about that. Taiwo say the journalist from Abuja. My brother was our director, a legal practitioner at the same time. Of course, a publisher. We salute you and take join us from Lagos. Sir Director, thank you very much. Frank Amigo, I greet you very well
do well.
for all the effort and sacrifice to make Nigeria a great country.
Sir Director, good evening once again.
Yes, my brother, I'll see you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate, man.
Well, we salute everybody who there on ground for us since next week. Now, that or this week Friday,
Yes.
we see they on ground there. We salute to them.